Good morning, Boker Tov, Boker Ol. It's good to see people coming in as we gather together this morning, preparing to start our day together. To those coming in on Zoom, to those joining us through YouTube, I hope you're having a beautiful and wonderful day on this rainy December Monday morning. And please do feel free to send a message if you're on Zoom or to like or subscribe on YouTube so that you and others can easily find us. Good morning, Lana. Good morning, Dina and Sulang and Seymour and each of you and all of you, as we say to one another, Boker Tov, Boker O. Welcome to Boker Tov from Temple Sinai. Temple Sinai Congregation of Toronto's daily opportunity to connect, to reflect, and to remember. And let us get started right away doing just that. Let's join in the English translation of this prayer for the body. Our physical existence alone is an incredible miracle. The kind of balance and the kind of complex and interrelated systems that are taken so that we can be one is a reminder of the wonders of our world as a whole. Please join me in the translation. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. And let's join together in the prayer for the soul, please, as well, both in Hebrew and English today, making sure to just let the air out when there's a dot in a hay at the end of a word. Eloi, neshama shenatata bi Torah hi, אתה בראתה, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי, ואתה משמרה בקרבי. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי, מודה אני לפניך. אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה, אדוני, אשר בידו נפש כל חי, וruach kol basar ish. The soul that you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. And now let's continue La Sok B'divrei Torah with these words of commitment to Torah learning, especially on a Torah Monday, a day where traditionally Torah is read, where it's already been read at our morning service at Shul. Let's join together in celebrating the power of learning and our opportunity and obligation to share our learning with others who come after us. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. V'arev na Adonai Eloheinu, et divrei Toratcha b'finu, ובפי עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו, וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך, ולומדי תורתך לשמה. Baruch atah Adonai, hamlamed Torah alei Yisrael. Elu dvarim shein lahem shi'ur. These are the obligations whose value cannot be measured. They nourish us in this world and help us to create the world to come. Kibud av va'em, to honor fathers and mothers. Ugmilut chasadim, to perform acts of love and kindness. Ashkamat ben midrash shacharit v'yahuvit, to attend the house of study morning and evening. B'achnasat orchim, to welcome the stranger. Ubikur cholim, to visit the sick. B'achnasat kala, to provide for brides and grooms. Ulevayat hamed, to keep faith with the dead. V'yun tefillah, to pray with sincerity. B'hava'at shalom ben adam l'chavero, to make peace when there is strife. The Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam, and the study of Torah is equal to them all. Again, one of my favorite aspects of the original Hebrew language of this text is, well, that it does say that study is equal to all these commandments. I don't think that's really the main meaning or the most essential meaning of these words. The word keneged, the third Hebrew word in that last Hebrew line, the study of Torah is keneged, all of them. The first use of keneged in Torah talks about the relationship between the first two human beings, and it refers to Chava, to Eve, as Ezer kenegdo, as a help keneged oto, him. And so how is that described? That role of, in my opinion, any spouse, not one gender or sex, is said in the commentaries there that keneged means that when the other is on the right path, that you're marching hand in hand with that person and then willing to stand against that person when they're not doing what is real and right in the world and or for them. And so Torah stands keneged all these commandments, that they doing them, and since there is no amount to be checked off and finished, how we do them and when we do them, Torah is there to guide us, to support us, as well as, if you will, to call us out when we don't necessarily do that which we are here to do. Let's join in Baruch She'amar in Hebrew and English, and then continue with Psalm 23, a psalm of beauty, but one that still recognizes that in our beautiful world, we also often walk in the valley of the shadow. Baruch She'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who speaks that we might listen. Blessed is the one who acts that we might be witnesses. Baruch hu u'baruch shemo. Blessed is the one who decides that we might accept. Blessed is the one who has mercy that we might live. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who removes the darkness that we might see. Blessed is the one who lives forever that we might believe. Blessed is the one who saves and delivers that we might be redeemed. And now Mizmor David, a psalm of David. With the Eternal as my shepherd, I shall want for nothing. I will lie down in a beautiful pasture. As I am led along restful waters, my soul will be restored. I will be guided along the paths of righteousness, serving God's higher purpose. Adonai roi lo echsel. Even when I must walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil when you are with me. Your strength and your support comfort me. When facing my enemies, your protection stretches out before me, sustaining mind and body. Adonai roi lo echsel. Only goodness and mercy will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will live in God's presence for the rest of my days. And we continue now. Let's join together as one, mirroring the divine one in Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטעו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם emet. Today is a Torah day, a Torah Monday, and our parasha, Parashat Vayishlach, has many different aspects to it, but none more significant, I dare say, than the story that gives birth to the name Yisrael. And of course, Yisrael, a name we know well, isn't historically most connected to Medinat Yisrael, the state of Israel. A privilege we have to live in a time where our people has its own state, to live out our own destiny, in good times and in troubling times. But Ahavat Yisrael, the love of Israel in our tradition, means love of members of the Jewish people, loving one another, and sticking together. And the word Yisrael, of course, is given not originally to the people, but to the people who are founded by Jacob, who is also Yisrael. And in that story, as it says, at this critical moment in his life, when deciding how to survive a moment that he and his family, his clan, may not survive, Jacob crosses the Yabok, the river, and he's left alone. And Ish, a person, a figure, wrestled with him until the break of dawn. And when he saw he had not prevailed, this figure, he wrenched Jacob's hip at the socket so that the socket of his hip was strained as he wrestled with him. Through this wrestling, Jacob was wounded. And yet Jacob still would not let go. So this individual, defined in our tradition as an angel, says, "Let me go, for dawn is breaking." But Jacob says, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." Said the other, "Isn't it interesting how there's an avoidance of names here, even as the name is given?" Said the other, "What is your name?" And he replied, "Jacob." So said he, "Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel. For you have struggled with beings divine and human, and have prevailed, have triumphed." It is an interesting question, this ritual way this is done, that a messenger of the divine asks Jacob, "Mashmecha, what is your name?" And he replies, "Jacob." Why? For context with Israel, as if the angel would not have known his name. But Yaakov, Laakov, literally, while it's connected to the word for the heel, Ekev, means to go around the side way. It means to make our way the long way around, often avoiding the direct way. Whereas Yisrael, again in Hebrew, the shin and the sin are the same letter. It really means yashal. It means to go straight. And so it is eventually a meaningful part of our identity, of necessity, not to convince ourselves, not to use the incredible thoughtful abilities we've been given to avoid going straight to what is real and right, but instead to take the long way around mentally, philosophically, in our search for the truth. And so Yisrael is also one who, with God's help, is a straight shooter, not in a physical sense about shooting, but rather in the willingness to acknowledge what is true, what is real, and to enact that reality when we see something that is desperately wrong, like terrorists taking hostages and holding them for 14 months and more, then we don't talk about this and that. We don't make equivalences. We name what is real and what is wrong and what is right. And likewise, in reciting our blessings for the soldiers of the IDF, we don't make false equivalences. The soldiers of the IDF are the duly constituted, organized, and moral body of soldiers of the democratic Jewish state of Israel. And their goal is to provide security and defense for the people of that state, and to do so in a way that allows our world to be a more peaceful one. Because as awful as it is, sometimes we have to fight those who do evil and those who show no interest in human coexistence in order to create a better future. For all of them forced to take on this painful and awesome and complex responsibility, we turn to this prayer of peace and of hope. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל ושאר מגיני עמנו, העומדים על משמרתם. ישמרם הקדוש ברוך הוא, ויצילם מכל צרה וצוקה, מכל נגע ומחלה, וישלח ברכה בכל מעשה ידיהם, ויקוים בהם הכתוב, וכיתתוך אבותיהם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות, לא יישאו גוי אל גוי חרב, ולא ילמדון עוד מלחמה, וישבו איש תחת גפנו, ותחת תאנתו, ואין מחריד ונאמר אמן. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless the soldiers of the IDF and all who stand on guard for us. May the Holy One guard them against all difficulty and distress, injury and illness. May all of their actions bring blessing, fulfilling the prophet's words. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, and may they learn war no more. May all sit under a vine or fig tree with none to make them afraid, and together we say, Amen. Well, we continue with our prayer for those in need of strength and healing, those in our immediate circle of community, friends, and family, those who are facing inordinately difficult, incredibly difficult circumstances, and who struggle, whether it's to recover or just for another meaningful day. For all of those who are injured or isolated, and especially for those forcibly and cruelly isolated by terrorists, motivated for destruction rather than for building a better world. For each of them, for all of them, for the names given to me and given to Temple, for the names placed in the chat in this and other services, we turn to these words of a refuah. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא ירפא את כל מכותינו. יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו, לחל עמם לרפאותם, וישלח לנו מהרה רפואה שלמה, ועטרת שלום, ונאמר Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing and strength. Reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and let us say together, Amen. Well, it's very meaningful to be here together to connect and reflect. And now we have these moments to remember, recalling loved ones who died at this season in years past, those whose lives have ended in the past 30 days, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. During the period of Shloshim, this past 30 days, we extend our condolences to the families of Helen Binns, Adam Adler, Molly Rosen, Stanley Swartz, Mark Grossman, Helen Schneer, Marion Waldman, Alan Rakowski, Bruce Friedman, Manny Cates. And And in the last 30 days, we acknowledge those victims of war and terror. IDF soldiers whose lives have been lost in this last 30 days include 4 soldiers who were just lost in what looks like an operational accident in Lebanon, as well as Ivri Dickstein, Yona Betzalel Brif, Zamir Bok, Sraya Elboim, Or Katz, Ophir Eliyahu, Neil Gofer, Nave Yair Asulin, Gary Zolat, Dror Chen, Roy Sasson, Omer Moshe Galdor, Zev Erlich, Tamer Osman, Shalev Yitzchak Sagron, Ron Epstein, Gor Kahati, Yogev Pazi, Omer Maxim Nutra, Itai Malkovich, and those victims of terror whose lives have been taken in the past 30 days, including Rabbi Tzvi Kogan, Shmuel Zalman Cohen, Omer Weinstein, Mohammed Naim, Mina Hassan, Kalmi Hassan, Itai Svirsky, Brian Director, Rabbi Avi Goldberg. And on yahrzeit, on the anniversary of their deaths, on this 8th day of the month of Kislev, the 9th of December, 2024, we honor the life and legacy on yahrzeit of Joseph Joe Berman, Louis Geller, Harry Gordon, Estelle Kalin, Shirley Naster, Dorothy Panzer, Phyllis F. Rottenberg, Morris Harry Schneer. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be a blessing to us. Our griefs and our sympathies are mingled as we turn together to words sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope, the words of Kaddish Yato. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemet rabba, be'alma divarach uvute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman karev v'imru amen. Yehe shme rabba mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit ale, v'yit halal, shemedekudsha borichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'mur, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim, alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'mur, amen. Oseh shalom b'momav, hu yaseh shalom, alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'mur, amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember. And together we say, amen. Well, wishing everyone strength and meaning on this day of significance and memory. Looking forward to seeing you again here tomorrow morning. Boker Tov